All right, welcome everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. This one is one of those sections most people like. It should go very quickly. This is just a review of the quadratic formula as you see. So basically what you're going to see here is this is just a lot of draw a line. So see, do you understand all the formulas? Can you recognize them? Okay, here's our vocabulary. We're working on discriminant, and it shows you what discriminant is. It's the part underneath the radical on the quadratic formula. So you either get, if it's greater than 0 or positive, it's two real roots or solutions. If it's equal to 0, it's one real root or solution, meaning it only hits the graph once. And if it's less than 0, it's 0 real solutions. That's because it's imaginary. It tells you kind of what your answers are going to look like before you actually do it. And then here they have you just go through and just do the discriminant. They just set it up for you. So we're going to come back to that, so don't worry. Okay. So here's the first piece, quadratic formula. If you have an equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, you can use the quadratic formula. The nice thing about it, it works on every quadratic problem. Unlike factoring, only certain problems factor. And so notice there's a plus or minus here, meaning that you get two answers. Okay, so cross out the value of a that does not give a solution to the quadratic formula. Okay. If a is 0, not getting a solution. So it would be that one. Okay. And let's do that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on down. And so basically we're just going to have you work it. The first thing you need to do is set the whole thing equal to 0. So you're going to add 4 to both sides. And when you do that, you should get this one, that standard form. Now, look in front. If there's no number, it's 1. So A is 1. B is 4, and C is 4. That should be your first thing if you're new to this or if you've forgotten. So we're going to go ahead and substitute in. So B squared, so 4 squared minus 4AC over 2 times A. Whoops, and that is not A. A is 1, right? Okay. Probably should have paid a little closer attention. Yeah, is that the quadratic formula? Yeah. Okay. So now we're going, oh, I'm sorry, they had you write it here. Totally my mistake, and then that makes a little more sense. Okay, so negative b is plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I keep writing 2. Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's plug in the numbers. So we have negative b, which is negative 4, plus or minus 4 squared minus a, and then c, and then this is 1. So this is going to be negative 4. Clean up this. So you have, put it in your calculator if you don't know, but this is going to be 16 minus what? It looks like 16. So 16 minus 16 is 0. Okay, and this is going to be over 2. But now what do you notice? This is 0, so this basically goes away. So you end up with negative 4 over 2. So your answer is negative 2. And then what they have you do, check, make sure it works. So you're going to substitute 2 in here, and then times 2. So this is going to be 4 plus 8, which is 12, plus 4. Yeah, so let's just plug that in. I'm sorry, I'm like totally spacing all of a sudden. So I'm going to do 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 4. Okay. So it says I'm going to get 16. Okay. And let's go see if we get to another piece. Nope. Okay. Hang on. Let's check and make sure we're okay here. Okay. You probably caught it. Thanks for waiting. But I just realized I didn't put the negative in. Duh. So negative, negative. So that's 4 minus 8, or plus a negative 8, which is negative 4. So then that should be 0, so the two sides should equal. Woo! And the thing is, I had negative 2 here, and I just wrote it wrong. Okay? So again, this should be an easy lesson because most of you know how to do this already. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here so you can see the whole question. Your school's jazz band is selling CDs as a fundraiser. The total profit P depends on the amount of X. that your band charges for each CD. So here's the equation that models the profit. What's the least amount in dollars you can charge for a CD to make a profit of $100? So, which one represents the situation? Oh, because keep in mind this is $100. Okay, equals negative x squared plus 48x minus 300. You're going to subtract 100 from both sides. Okay, so then you'll see which one models it. It's going to be that one. Okay, now cross out the value that will not be substituted into the equation to solve the problem. Okay, so yeah, you can figure that out. Okay, so what they're asking is what's not going to work. Oh my goodness, that just looked really messy. Sorry about that. Okay. Minus 400. Remember how we take it to the other side, but you know, that's totally up to you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do A is negative 1, B is 48, and C is negative 400. Okay, so negative 48, 48 squared minus negative 1 times negative 400. And this is over 2a, so that's negative 1. This is negative 48. And then again, I'm going to pull out my little trusty calculator. I'm going to do 48 squared plus 4. No, actually that's going to be negative. Because you have minus, basically a positive number, so it's going to be minus. Okay. And then you're going to do... Okay, so we have negative 1, we have 48. Which one are we not substituting in? It's that one. Okay, so just a heads up. So minus 4 times 400. So I get 704. Hopefully you're doing the math along with me so you can tell me if this works. And then you just get your two answers. So what you're going to do is you're going to do negative 48 plus the square root of 704, and you're going to divide that by negative 2. Okay, I'm going to need to pull out my TI because my Casio is set up to simplify radicals, so that's kind of what it does. Okay, and we're hanging in there. We're almost done. So negative 48 plus square root of 704, and we're going to divide that by negative 2. I got 10.7. Okay. Let's say 7.3 because we're talking money. Okay. Now we're going to do it again, only now we're going to do negative 48 minus the square root of 704. And then we're going to divide that by negative 2. And here we're going to get 15.27. So what's the smallest amount that we can charge? The $10.73. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's okay, but I can pause and make sure. So let's go here. Okay, just a heads up, I might have done a math calculation for this first one wrong, so please let me know if I got that. Because I got 1073 and then I got 1527 and they got a different answer, but it's 1073 is the minimum, smallest amount you can charge. Okay, so now let's go to the next part. You guys are moving right along. What we're looking at here is the discriminant, so you need to identify A, B, and C. And let's do that. So A is 2, B is negative 3, and C is 7. So again, you're going to use the B squared minus 4AC. So that's B squared, so that's negative 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times 7. And then you want to get that answer, so that's going to be 9. Make sure you put your negative number in parentheses if your calculator is doing it, because otherwise it's not going to give you the right answer. I got negative 47. Okay, so the discriminant is negative, which means it has no real solutions. That's kind of how that works. Hopefully I did that right. Okay, and then here you want to use the discriminant to solve the problem. Okay, and believe it or not, we'll be almost done. Okay, so I think I'm actually going to save this one for you so that you walk through the notes and do it, and then I'll be glad to check it in class. Okay, so there's one more page after this I want you to finish up, and that's going with that problem. So you're going to answer those questions. I'll have the answers so you can check, and then this is, do you understand how all that works? And your vocabulary: quadratic formula, discriminant, and real solutions. So thank you, and I will see you on the next video.